Krishna. Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hmm. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. Haribo, Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jai Jai Gurudev, 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 Gurudev. Jai Jai Nityalita Prishta Om Vishnupad Brahmas Prajas Lotus Shishana Desi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Anand Kuri Vaishnav Ki Jai Namachar Sharadas Thakur Ki Jai प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री गिरिधारी सरस्वती गौरतविंद की जय श्री राधा कृष्ण गप गप नाथ श्यामपन राधा कनगिरी गोवर्धन की जय वृंदावन धाम की जय नवदीप धाम की जय गंगा माई की जय जमुना माई की जय तुलसी देवी की जय भक्ति देवी की जय गौर निताई की जय श्री श्री राधा गोविंद जी की जय श्री श्री राधा गोलोकानंद की जय जय श्री श्री राधा गिरी गोवर्धन जी की जय Gaur Premanandi Hari. All glories to Sangha devotees. All glories to Sangha devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Guranga. Srila Prabhupada Ji ki jai. Gaur Premanandi Hari. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are continuing our study of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 44, and we will be reading verses 43 and 44. So we will read 43 and repeat, and then I will read only 44. Thank you. Tesham Striyo Maharaja Shriram Marna Dukhitaha Tatra Bhiyo Binantat Nantyay Shrinano Shri Vilochana Tesham Striyo Maharaja Shrihan Marana Dukhiktaha Tatra Bhiyo Vinadya Vinadnantya Shrinaya Asru Vilochana Tesham Striyo Maharaja Shrimarna Dukhitaha Tatra Bhiyora Vidginadantya Shrinaya Asru Vilochana. Vino Vinigtatya Shrishranaya Vilochana Tesham Striyo Maharaja Sharanam Marana Dukitaha Tatra Viho Vignatantya Shirishana Ashru Vilochana. Word to word. Tesham, of them, Kamsa and his brothers, Istriya, the wives, Maharaja, O King Parikshit, Shurhat, of their well-wishers, their husbands, Marana, because of the death, Dukkita, sorrowful, Tatra, that place, Abhyaya, approach, Vigna Antya, beating, Shri Shani, their heads, Asru, with tears, Vilochana, their eyes. Translation. My dear king, the wives of Kansa and his brothers, aggrieved by the death of their well-wishing husbands, came forward with tearful eyes, beating their heads. Please repeat. My dear king, the wives of Kansa and his brothers, aggrieved by the death of their well-wishing husbands, came forward with tearful eyes, beating their heads. I will just read 44 and then we will continue. Shayana Vira Sayam Pitin, no, he didn't. Yeah. Patin Alingya Sochita Vilupe Sabrasanayo Vishajanto Mahusucha. Translation is, embracing their husbands who lay on a hero's final bed, the sorrowful women loudly lamented while shedding tears. Om Jnanatamdasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurutmina Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhute Samarupakalaya Dadanti Dantikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Udait Gadadhar Shri Sati Gautama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Again here verse 43 is, the translation is, my dear kings, the wives of Kamsa and his brothers, aggrieved by the death of their well-wishing husbands, came forward with tearful eyes, beating their heads. Now Sanatana Goswami Tika writes, the wives and other women related to Kamsa and his allies, grieving because of death of their husbands, etc., approached those dead bodies in the arena. Abhiva, or they came without fear. Abhi, they beat their heads constantly, pulling out their hair while crying. O great king, Sukadeva cries out in joy, or they were aggrieved by the death of their friend and the great Kansa Maharaj. Though they grieved for others, they did so especially for Kansa, who was protector of all. So now you can see here, like devotees are always happy when a demon is taken out, whereas their friends and relatives, they're always morose. And like we have seen, even whenever somebody dies, it's just a very sorrowful situation, especially for the people who are either very much attached to the families, friends, or in general, it's given by nature. We are generally loving beings. So we tend to associate and we develop very tight bonds in spite of the fact a person might be doing all kinds of nonsensical thing. And we have seen, even in material life, that happens. So there is always a great lamentation at the death of any relatives in the material world, uh, generally, and especially for us who are living this life without the full knowledge of Vedic scriptures, and understanding it fully, and after being placed at spiritual level, only then we can understand that how lamentation work. Now, lamentation is always in the past. So whenever you're lamenting, so things have occurred in the past, so you're lamenting or grieving, so those things are always past. Whereas demigods, they, or devotees, like actually whenever a demon is killed, demigods are very happy. People in general are very happy. So like demigods from higher planets, when Kansa was killed, I mean, actually uh, they began to pour flowers. They were showering flowers. And in fact, all the audience in the arena of Kansa, they were happy with the joy that this kind of personality is taken out. Like heavenly planets, even demigods who are very powerful personalities, like even Brahma and Shiva, and they all joined together in showing their jubilation over Kansa's death. And they were beating of drums and showering of flowers from the heavenly planets. And the wives of demigods began to dance in ecstasy. So now you can see the one event where one party is very remorse and another party is enjoying, because they were the victims in a way. So naturally they have to enjoy. But when you're in a family or fully related, somehow you don't appreciate or you don't condone the activities of your fellow relative, or since you're so attached. And not only that, demons tend to protect their family and friends. Like Kansa definitely was good to their relatives. Not only that, he had fantastic friends. I mean, they were so devoted to him that they were willing to die for him at any time. And not only that, when a person like Kansa, who had so much power, even if somebody don't want to do the dirty deed, he could force it because they didn't have any choice. The choice was death anyways. So sometimes we have seen in the history, even in Ramchandra episode, when Ravana was trying to upstage Lord Rama. I mean, so he was sending demons, and demons say, "Oh, no, I don't want to do it." No, he said, "Okay, because otherwise I will kill you." Okay, then he thinks, okay, it's better to be killed by Lord Ram rather than by Ravan. So those things happen when, like, sometimes they don't have choice. but sometimes they are so, what you call, bonded uh, in friendship that they are willing to do any dirty deeds for such demons. So now here we can see the wives of Kansa and his brothers, they were very aggrieved on account of their uh, uh, brother, and as well as on their wives were on their account of their husband's sudden death. And all of them were striking their foreheads and shedding lots of tears. They were crying very loudly and embracing the bodies of their husbands. The wives of Kansas and his brothers were lamenting, addressing his dead body. Our dear friends, our dear husbands, you were so kind, and you were the protector and of all the dependents. Now, after your death, we are also dead, also with your homes and children. We are no longer looking very auspicious. On account of your death, the auspicious function which were to take place, such as the sacrifice of the bull, have all spoiled naturally. Because Kansa has arranged the other way around. He wanted to kill Krishna and Balram, but it didn't go the way he was thinking. Because sometimes uh, that happens. Not all the things go into according to your plan. So now here we can see, unless you are a very exalted devotee, you will always lament for the death of a devotee. Recently, approximately almost 2-3 weeks ago, one of our friends' wife suddenly passed away. And this devotee, I was very surprised. A good friend of mine, he wasn't lamenting. In fact, he was consoling us. Please don't worry. I mean, it's okay. I mean, that's what Krishna has written, and he was very strong. He said, "No, she's going and acquiring new body, so why should I lament?" He didn't shed a tear. In fact, he was consoling other devotees who were in pain. So this is the power of understanding Bhagavad Gita. And this devotee got initiated with us in 1986. And I was amazed. And the second day, next day, he was giving a class on Bhagavad Gita. And he was just as a routine, as nothing happened. So this is the exalted position of the devotees only. Nobody else can do it. It's what I'm trying to say, even in this like present, there are people or there are devotees who are so advanced or who have understood the message of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. They take it to their heart. This is most fearful situation. Death is the most fearful situation for any living entity in this world. But when you have the knowledge of Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, like you transcendent, you are able to cope with. It's not that they are not like feeling the loss. They are. But because of the knowledge they have acquired, they have become so fixed, and they understand the spiritual science, how to transcend from this world. And next day he was giving very nice lecture, and in fact he was consoling many people that please don't lament, don't cry. We should celebrate the life rather than crying. So in fact, he was telling the qualities of his wife and consoling. And So I was amazed. So that's what it is. So we have to realize that. Now here, when the the wives were lamenting, and after that they are realizing also, yeah, oh, but dear husband, you treated persons very ill who were faultless, and as a result you have been killed. I mean, they understand that. That's why you have been killed. So this is inevitable, because a person who torments an innocent person must be punished by the law of nature. We know that Kansa, then we know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God. He is the Supreme Master of everything. He is the Supreme Enjoyer of everything. And therefore, anyone who neglects his authority can never be happy, and ultimately he meets that. So here, actually, Kansa is very, very lucky in some ways that he is fighting the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And what happens when you fight Supreme Personality of Godhead? That you are always awarded mukti, because you're not fighting somebody, ordinary person, So we can see here, Kansa got Srupya Mukti, So he got the form of Krishna in Vaikuntha Loka. So he's promoted. But these are, and why that was so? Because he was remembering Krishna all the time. How was he remembering him? Because he was in fear. Constantly he was in fear. So that's what it is. Like Bhagavad Gita tells us how we should face these kinds of situations. Actually, in Bhagavad Gita 2.11, Krishna says to Arjuna, because he was not wanting to fight with his opponents, or because there were family and friends on the other side, he had to fight. And he didn't want to fight. He was grieving, if I kill them, then I will incur sin, and then I will be involved. So he was lamenting that way. So, and Krishna is advising him. I mean, you're speaking a very learned verse, and you're mourning for what's not worthy of grief. What are you doing here? Those who are wise lament neither for living nor for that. It's easy said, but in practice, it's difficult to implement. But we have seen that it's implementable if we properly understand Bhagavad Gita. So that's why, demons, because they're attached to their family, they don't see that fault, But after some time, they realize what Kansa was doing was not right. So same thing happened with Ravana's wife. His wife, Mandodari, was telling him many times, please don't fight with Lord Ram, and you should surrender. But he never listened to her. And when he was finally dead, and then she was crying, and later on said, I told you many times that please don't do these activities, but you never listen. So now we are grieving. Actually, demons are always in the mode of passion or ignorance. They're always have kama, lust. They're very lusty, Anger they have, lobha, greed. So actually, Krishna, because of demon, actually he has devoted full one chapter in Bhagavad Gita only on demons. So this is 16th chapter, which is demonic natures. He describes there. Now, in like Bhagavad Gita 16.4, he describes what are their qualities, of demons, and what is that? Dambodarapo brahmanascha krodha prashasya eva cha ajnana cha bhitaja cha partha sampada suryam. So what they have? Pride, arrogance. So these are quality of demons. They have a lot of pride, a lot of arrogance, a lot of conceit, anger, harshness, and ignorance. So these are the qualities belong to the demonic nature, O son of Pratha. So Krishna describes this, and we can see all these qualities are in demons. It's just, and basically this is a royal road to the hell. If you want to have all these qualities, So, like mostly the demonic person wants to make show of religion and advanced in spiritual science, all that they do not follow the principles, They are always arrogant. Like even now, some people are very puffed up because they're very, very well educated and so forth. They have acquired a lot of wealth. And then they acquire the position of power, and then they treat others like subordinates, and they treat them very ill. And their desire is what? That they should be worshipped by the others. So they want to be the master and controller of the situation. They want respect. They demand respect, actually. So even nobody wants to be respected that way, but they demand it by force, by their power. They want to extract that respect. And we have seen in this material world that's very happen. And on trivial matters, they become very angry and very harsh. And they don't treat others very gently. They do not know actually what should be done and what should not be done. So they're not at times, because they have set some goals, something in their head. They just want to accomplish that. That's their own desire. That's their own will. And at times they don't recognize any authority at all. And we have seen in this world that's very predominant, especially in Kali Yuga, that many people, they don't want to recognize authority, and they want to do whatever they want. And sometimes they're caught, sometimes they're not. But funny thing is, we can dovetail our material authority here, on this earth. But ultimately, Krishna catches you. Krishna will catch you. If you're stealing and doing all those kind of nonsensical things in this material world, yes, police may not catch you, but Krishna will catch you at the end of life. So we have to be very careful what actions we are performing, because to every action there is equal and opposite reaction, and this is Newton's law. To every action there is. So we have to be very, very careful of our activities, what we are doing, because this karma binds you. And it binds you, and accordingly you are awarded next life. So these are very, very important thing, one should understand, because demonic person doesn't understand that, and he's never clean, and his behavior is never truthful. Demon will say any lies at any point in time just to support his point of view. Mm. Uh, they have no control of their lust. They want to acquire everything. They want to steal the wealth. They uh, they're lusty. They will do things which one shouldn't be doing. All they want to do is to gratify their senses in this life and extract as much enjoyment as they can in this material life. And not only that, by any means. And they have thousands of desires. Like desires are like what? These are like waves. Like you can't count the waves in the sea. The sea waves are coming one after the other, one after the other, one after the other. And similarly, the desires are like that. One desire is fulfilled, then you want to have another desire. So that's what it is. And demonic person thinks in this middle life, I am so much wealth today, I will gain more according to my scheme. So much is mine, and I will increase in future. He is my enemy. I will kill him. I will lord it over everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect. I am powerful. I am happy. I am the richest. I have aristocratic relatives. There is no one else can compete with me. It's like that. And then he said, okay, I will perform some sacrifices and give some charity, and this way I will be absolved. That's what he thinks. He will build some facility for tokenism, we call it, for token, that he will build. So he thinks like he has done very good deed, now he will be forgiven. But that's not so. In fact, what happens is, those, Krishna says, those who are envious, mischievous, who are the lowest among men, are cast by me into the ocean of material existence in various demonic species. So if you're doing nonsensical things, Krishna makes sure that you don't see the light of the day. You will put into some kind of living entity who is living under earth or under the ocean, and one after the other you are awarded the body to do your sense gratification in the totally mode of darkness. So that's what, if one doesn't want to follow Krishna's instruction, so that's what will happen, Now, so that's what Krishna says. He says, attaining repeated birth among the species of demonic life, such persons can never approach it. Never approach it. And gradually they sink to the most abominable type of existence. And Krishna describes very simply that lust, anger, and greed, so these are the great, they are the three leading gates to hell. So one should be very careful. Everyone should give up lust, anger, and greed, because they lead to the degradation of the soul. So here, like Kansa is different example. He's fighting Krishna, but if you're fighting some other demonic person, you don't get that kind of liberation. So you are under the modes, and Krishna will catch you. So that's material life. Actually, here is the perverted reflection of the spiritual world. So whatever is high here, like you think, oh, you become president or whatever, of some company or whatever, you acquired so much wealth or whatever you've done. And in fact, you have acquired the modes of attachment and everything. And what happens is normally you will be for sure awarded some other body. If you're into all kinds of sense gratification, Krishna says, why you need human body? I will provide you. If you are interested in eating a lot of stuff, I will give you another body where you can have lots of eats. You can enjoy that way, If you are very addicted to flesh and other things, I can make you tired. Or if you want to be in sleeping mode all the time, I can make you bear. You can sleep 6 months of the year, no problem. So we have to be very careful of what activities we are performing in this material world. We can fool our authorities, so-called authorities, but you can never fool Krishna or his dharma, or who are responsible for taking care for him, like Dharmaraj is very, very strong. So he knows. So whatever material, because this world is perverted reflection, so whatever we think is high in this world, actually, because it's perverted reflection, so whatever ego, money, and all these things are at the bottom in the spiritual world. So whatever is high here, that's that because of reflection. Whatever is high in this, so actually that's the bottom you are in. So one has to be very, very careful. So actually time deteriorates everything, but time doesn't have influence in material world or spiritual world. Sorry. So we have to be very, very careful for our activities. Actually, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells us, what's our duty. Jariv Jiva Sarup Kwe Nitya Krishna Das. Who is saying that? Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Our main sarup of this soul is to serve Krishna. That's the true nature of the soul. He gives many examples, fish out of water. And that's what it is. So we have to understand, as a soul, we are part and parcel of the Krishna. So our transcendental nature is to serve. But if we are in material world, we get attached. So then that's what happens. And demons don't understand that principle. So, like Kansa knew some things, but they choose to ignore. It's like a thief. He wants to steal. So what does he do? He makes a big plan. I will do this way, I will do this way. I will go in the night. I will disguise this way. I will hide there and that. So he makes big, big schemes, And then he knows in his heart that if he's caught, he will be put behind the jail. He knows that. It's not that he doesn't know. He knows that. But his desire is so strong that it overrides, it clouds his intelligence and mind, because his desires is so strong. And he goes ahead and steals everything. And when he's caught, then what happens? He laments. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, he will point to somebody else. You made the mistake, that's why I'm in trouble. He will never say that I did whatever nonsense I did. So that's the demonic nature. So we have to be careful and apply all these things. See, the idea of Bhagavatam is to read and apply into our life, day-to-day life. So we should learn every day. So that's what dharma is. That's why we must read Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita every day. Or for that matter, other scriptures. At least they will lead you to the mode of goodness. And from the mode of goodness, if you're very sincere, Krishna sees your effort and then he lifts you. Dadami buddhi yogantam. Tesham statu yuktanam bhajtam priti purvatam dadami buddhi yogatam yamana pranantite. Like those people who are trying and who are worshipping me constantly, to those, the Dhamikata, I give them intelligence. I guide them from within their heart so that they can come into me. Sometimes people at deathbed, they're worried what will happen. Krishna says, I will take care, don't worry. Sarv dharman pratijyaja mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tam sarv pape beho moksha asmi masucha. Krishna, don't fear, matsucha. I will absolve you from all the sincere, all the nonsense you have done if you surrender unto me fully. So that's what Krishna is. So we should learn lesson from these. Like Kansa, what did he do? He just sent one demon after the other, after the other, after the other, in spite of the fact he knew that he will be killed because that was forecasted. And actually Narada Muni told him so. And Narada Muni did a favor so that he want to be involved in this pastime so that the demon is taken out fast. So he killed so many demons. And funny thing is, Krishna also wanted to perform Leela. So that's what happened. So we should take some lessons out of this. So anyhow, I should stop here because there's 1 minute, so that if there are any questions and clarifications, I will just leave it open. Hare Krishna. Any comments that why Kansa attains Sarupa Mukti after death? In fact, he got to the planets, so inhabitants have the same body as features of Narayan. After his death, Kansa attained liberation and was promoted to Vaikuntha. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It's amazing because technically he was relative too, in a way, in some ways. He was his mama. Mama means mother's brother. And that way he was related. I mean, and there's not one example. There are many examples where Krishna they need to be liberated anyway. They were liberated to start with, in some ways, Like even if you look at what was the name when Krishna killed, I'm forgetting the name of the, like in Dwapara Yuga, anyhow, so Krishna he merged into Krishna. Very well. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. All praise to Him.
andar ako di kamania iskesa soba
Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yasa Sakale Priya Priti Manti Pasyanti Panti Kayanti Chiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam
Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Radhe, Radhe, Jaya Jaya, Madhava Dayate, Radhe. Sarvana Deshe. Vardhana Veshe Harini Skuta Vrinda Vipineshe Amadharavati Vardhana Veshe Harini Skuta Vrinda Vipineshe Amadharavati Vardhana Veshe Harini Skuta Brinda Vipineshe Damodara Rati Vardhana Veshe Harini Skuta Brinda Vipineshe Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate Radhe Jaya Madhava Dayate Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate Radhe Jaya Madhava Dayate Vrishabhanu Dari Vrishabhanu Dari Navashashi Leke Lalita Saki Guna Ramita Vishake Vrishabhanu Dari Navashashi Leke Nalita Sakti Guna Ramita Vishake Vrishabhanu Dari Navashashi Leke Lalita Saki Guna Ramita Vishake Vishabhanu Dari Navashashi Leke Lalita Saki Guna Ramita Vishake Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate Radhe Jaya Madhava Dayate Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate Karunam Kurumai Karuna Bharate Sanaka Sanatana Varnita Sharite Karunam Kurumai Kurumate Sanaka Sanatana Varnita Charite Karunam Kurumai Karuna Bharate Sanaka Sanatana Varnita Charite Karunam Karuna Varite Sanaka Sanatana Varnita Charite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate Radhe Jaya Madhava Dayate Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Golokananda Radha Golokananda 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 Radha Jaya Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Srila Prabhupada ki jai Shri Shri Gaura Nitai ki jai Shri Shri Radha Golokananda ki jai 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 Shri Radhe ki jai. O Radha, all glories unto you, all glories unto you, beloved of Madhava, object of worship for all the young girls of Gokula. You dress yourself in such a way as to increase Lord Damodar's love and attachment for you. You are the controller of Vrindavan, the pleasure groves of Lord Hari. You are a new moon arisen from the ocean of King Vrishabhanu, and you are the friend of Lalita, and your wonderful qualities, friendliness, kindness, and faithfulness to Krishna, endear you to Vishaka. You are an ocean of compassion, and your divine characteristics are described by the four Kumaras, Sanaka, Sanatana, Sananda, and Sanat Kumara. O Radha, please be merciful to me. Srila Rupa Goswami ki jai. Srila Rupa Manjari ki jai. Hey. Chaito Darpana Marjanam Bhavama. Anandam Buddhi Sarva Shakti Tatrapita Niyamita Menakala Etadrishita Vakripa Bhagavan Mamapi Dordaiva Mitvishami Hajjanina Raga Trinada Pisunichena Torora Pisuhishuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Vajagadisha Kamaye Mama Janmani Janmani Ishvare Bhavatad Bhaktira Hoita Kitwai Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishameva Mambudao Kripayatava Bhavat Pankaja Stita Duli Satrashim Vachintaya Nayanam Galadashudaraya Varanam Gadgada Hridaya Gira Pulakarnishitam Vapukada Davana Mahagraneva Vishyati Yugayatam Nimishena Chakshusha Prabhashayatam Shunayatam Jagat Sarvam Govindam Virahiname Ashlishivapadamratam Panastumam Adarshanam Marma Hatakarotuva Yatatava Vindato Lampato Mat Prananatastrusa Eva Napara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. O my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benedictions to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw on the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service birth after birth. O Son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have